What's the deal, YouTube? We're back with a weekly Big Gamer Small Talk podcast. And for the first podcast, I have my voice back. Yeah. Um.
About damn time.
Yeah. About time. Hold up. You ain't got the crap. You ain't got the sound effects going with the keyboard. What
My bad.
effects? That crap? There you go. Damn, he heating on a brother. Heating on a brother.
That's what I do best, man. That's what I do best.
Yeah, so your boy, I've been out of the loop. Like I said, I've been gone for a few days. It's my anniversary, so I took the whole family on vacation. Me and my 19 children, and we went to
Jesus Christ.
praise Jehovah in the wilderness. You know, what I mean, literally. I was in the, had the Winnebago, at the watchtower. We was passing them out, going down the highway. So I'm just getting back in town. So I've kind of been out of the loop. You know, what I mean, plus two. If you didn't know, actually I didn't tell you guys. I told Mooch a skunk ran the whole family out the house. Skunk ran up under the deck. My God. Those who know what a skunk smells like, the motherfucker woke me and my wife up like 5 o'clock in the morning, just spraying. Like, what the fuck is that smell? And I know, if you don't know, I worked for the Humane Society like 15 years, so I know what the fuck the smell was, but I didn't know the motherfucker was under the house. You know what I mean? Literally under the fucking house. And I had to get a pest removal service, which I could have did myself, put a can of cat food in the trap and let the animal walk in the trap. But I don't have a truck, and I wasn't about to put that motherfucker in my Range Rover. Range Rover. And so that's what I've been dealing with. So that's why you haven't seen any videos from me. But we got 160 people here already. So what are we going to talk about first? The Gears of War, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about the gear stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. What did they say? Who was that? Rod Ferguson?
Yeah, we got the article. Let me get the article ready. They haven't got anything.
He basically said that it's going to be like 65. Did he say that the multiplayer?
He didn't say the. I just actually, like I said, I've been out of the loop and I had shit connection. I just read what he said is going to.
He just said the multiplayer at this point. It's just the multiplayer.
I'm sure, like
60,
on the,
60
like,
frames a second.
Did he specifically mention the Xbox One version?
I think they're talking about.
They're talking. Yeah. They actually, they haven't officially announced the Gears of War 4 on the Windows 10, but of course, he's talking about the Xbox One version.
I mean, are
the
specs out on Quantum Break yet? Do we know what that is?
No. Somebody should like.
What the isn't the
specs are out on.
I'm hearing 1080p, but is it 1080p 30?
Oh, most likely.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not any more than 30. That thing. Did you watch the footage, man? That thing was chugging at 30.
Cinema. What do they call it?
It's 30 frames per second. It's probably 1080 or 900.
Yeah. And I don't think it's 900.
No, I
hear
1080.
Yeah, it's 1080.
It went gold. It went gold. I mean, do you guys think it's a little bit weird that it went gold 45 days ahead of?
You know what? Because I mean, not for nothing. They've been working on this game for what that we know of since we've seen it in 2013.
Yeah.
And Microsoft needs to, I guess, big for.
I don't think it went. I don't think that's odd though, Z. Because think about it. The reason I don't think it's odd is this game was actually supposed to be a fall release.
Yes.
Now, have it be whatever the circumstances were to polish it up, this and that, PC, blah blah blah, whatever you want to fill in the blank. This game's been done for a while. So I don't think it going in this instance. Normally, if it went gold 45 days in advance, that is a head scratcher. This one here, I think, was done for. Remedy came out and said it end of last year. We're just polishing things up. We're done.
Well, polishing things up was porting it over.
Right.
Listen. In all fairness, I'm gonna do a little damage controlling. If you don't know, to DirectX 12. To port something to Windows 10 is like, takes less than a day. You saw how they got Gears of War. I'm sorry, Forza 5 or 6 running on Windows 10 in one day. So that wouldn't be the issue. I think it was more or less to get all the tools and everything mature enough for DirectX 12. From what I've been told.
They also switched character design. I mean, that was a big deal. I mean, we don't know if that was done prior to the delay.
That's what they said.
But Microsoft is trying. I mean, it's clear they're really trying to brand this. This is not supposed to be a one and done in their book. So in order to do that, I thought it was smart that they went out and got real actors. We've all had enough of Nolan North and Troy Baker and their fucking weird hats that they wear in California.
Whatever happened about that? We talked about that on one show about them going on, about them boycotting. Did we ever find out what happened with that?
Yeah, you know what happened? They're the only two getting checks, Z. So they're not boycotting shit.
Yeah.
Well, what they said about Gears of War 4 is it's going to be a graphical showcase for the Xbox One. That's verbatim.
Now that's interesting that they say that, because you have a game with Quantum Break coming out, like we just said, in about 45 days. That game coming out that soon, I'm thinking that's the graphical showcase. I mean, if Rod and company are saying that Gears are, I mean, does that just mean that we are only seeing the skim of the surface with the X20?
I mean, Gears, nothing though. That's nothing new. Gears has always set the it's always set the standard as far as visuals on the Xbox platform. You've seen when Gears 1 came out for the 360, that was like, oh shit, when that camera spun around, you run up those steps, like, oh my god, you got that first chainsaw. I hope, again, that was to me, but again, I won't say that, but I guess the initial even of the, the launch, the jump was going from 480i to 720p, for, up high definition last generation, it was huge to us. But that, to me, that first really big shit moments is when I played Gears. I think it was 2006.
We have yet to have that this gen, in my opinion.
Because
Quantum Break might be that.
Yeah, I think between Quantum Break and Gears, but I was just going to say, has anybody had an oh shit moment except for the fact that they haven't bought a game for the PS4 in a year and a half? What's the oh shit moment on that console? People
I don't know.
You know what?
Good question.
It is, isn't it? Because we've been sitting here for over a month, or if not a year and a half, picking on the Xbox One. And I have a PS4. I have no reason to spend $60 on anything on that goddamn thing.
Well, you got Street Fighter V if you're into fighting, but you're not into fighters.
Yeah, but you know what, even if I was over fist, even if I was wearing a gi right now, I wouldn't want to go buy that for $60.
Hey, move you the best. Wait, hold up, man. Hey, crap, clap the hands, man. He said wearing a gi. That's a provided uniform, man.
You went in depth with your show. You did an unboxing. You did a live broadcast. You did a review.
Yes.
And let's just call a spade, right? See, I mean, realistically, $60. We sit here and we complain about 12-hour games, 14-hour games. You got how many characters and how many? I mean,
okay, let me say this. I take it none of you guys have played it. You know what I mean? And if you didn't see my review, what I said was, I said, of course I'm an Xbox dude, but I guess any day we're all gamers. I don't play games, I play games. You know what I mean? My wife bought me the collector's edition for my birthday, and she likes Street Fighter. She loves Chun-Li. But they put out. I mean, I remember the PlayStation fans were making fun of Killer Instinct for being, bare, not bare, but it didn't have a lot of stuff, no story mode and stuff like that. But like I said, the game was only $20. You know what I mean? And later on they added stuff as time went on. If Capcom would have did that, put the game out at $30, and then once the rest of the content was there, charges the other $30, I would have been cool with that. But they put a game out, a fighter, without any lobbies, without any even verses. You know what I mean? In the story mode is that it's not even an arcade mode on there. You put out a fighter, my God, without an arcade mode. But they put out a game that you fight 3 times and that's it. There's 16 characters, which is cool. They look they look nice. I will give them that. They feel balanced to me. But you fight 3 times, and then they give you this standard picture. They just give you a picture on the screen with a bunch of talking, and that's the end of the game.
Where's the backlash? I can't even see. I've said this number time and time again. It's the same thing that happens every month or every.
But we know what it is. I mean, you had some. Not to cut you off. You had some website, called Capcom, called reviewers out and called website out when we got to get back to
Forbes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because again, that game is not worth $65 fucking dollars. And forget if you got the collector's edition. You know what I mean? And I don't have a problem with the DLC, but only issue I had with the DLC is that I bought the collector's edition. So normally when you buy the collector's edition, you get any season pass, all that shit comes along with it. I still got to go out and buy the characters. Now they said you could, earn in-game money, but you had to fight like 2,000 matches a month. Someone on NeoGAF posted, to buy a character. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. But you're gonna get 6 characters for $25. But you don't have a versus mode. If you just want to fight the computer one time, you don't even have the option to do that.
Right.
Like, it's horrible.
It is dropping in Metacritic. Right now, it's 78 now. It's getting pounded by
and it's sad to say because, and again, it's a...
It was like an 84 at one time.
It was, because you know what? Once that initial, the game is pretty old shit and playing Street Fighter wore off, it's nothing there. People complained about Star Wars Battlefront of it being not having a lot of content. You know what I mean? That's been one of the knocks against Star Wars Battlefront, if I'm not mistaken. it's not enough content for the $65. Trust me, Street Fighter 5, my God, like even my wife said, this is it, because she knows played the arcade mode or whatever the case may be. But even to top it off that, I'm talking, not to get ahead of myself, the net code. I don't know what.
I don't know why they just wouldn't have just delayed the game.
Why? Really, because Sony needs that big game in February and another game in April. That's always been Sony.
Well, it's not. I mean, it hasn't lit up the charts either. I thought this would have been honestly, beforehand, I thought it was going to be a bigger game, but maybe it has some negativity swirling around it. There are a lot of people that are saying it has a 2. Put it this way: on PC, it has a 2.4 user score rate on PC, and on Street Fighter 5 on for PS4, it's 3.3. That's freaking low.
No, because people want to play. At the end of the day, even though even though it's missing a lot of stuff, people want to fight online. You know what I mean? Right. And it's an issue still getting online matches. You know what I mean?
Is it still bad? Did they fix it?
I haven't been home in about 5 days. I mean, since the last video I posted, I've been out the house, so I'm gonna try it out again. But people want to play. But listen again, the reason why I did a video and I was blaming Sony also, and people say it's not Sony fault, it's Capcom fault. No, the reason why I blame Sony also because according to Capcom, if it wasn't for Sony, this game couldn't have got there made. I don't believe Microsoft would allow a game to come out like that on their, like it didn't work. Now, don't get me wrong. Listen, I know people talk about the Master Chief Collection, and a lot of things you guys don't know is that they beta tested again the Master Chief Collection. And like I said, a lot of you guys are not privy to a lot of things, and I guess us doing the show, we get to talk to some people, sometimes people that are within the know. Is that the what do you call it? The API they were switching to, or whatever they felt to get, something to do with the frame, that it didn't work well in a public setting. It did well in the closed beta behind doors, but when they released it to the public and it gets to millions of people, it broke. You know what I mean? So that's I guess now any Microsoft biggest games you're gonna get open betas. So you're not gonna have that issue. Again, but not to I guess. Sugarcoat what happened with the Master Chief Collection. You know what I mean? It worked behind closed doors and in private betas, but shit broke when they released it to the public. You know what I mean? They had to build that shit from scratch to get it back up and working. You know what I mean? But even with that, it still wasn't as bad as Street Fighter 5.
You had 4 full games to play. Okay, you had 4 goddamn games to play. This here, you've got nothing to play. The online doesn't work. Sony gave away free online this weekend. It doesn't fucking work. But don't worry about it. Let's complain about Xbox.
You know what? I'll say like this.
I just don't understand.
I live streamed for 2 hours, and I got 2 online matches. You leave the match open for people to join. I played 2 matches online.
Hey, I live streamed for 2 hours. Listen, you could have saved $65 and just spent 50 cents at the arcade for those 2 matches.
I said something funny on Twitter the other day. I said if Street Fighter 2 for the NES launched with more content than Street Fighter 5 for the PlayStation 4, and motherfuckers thought I was trolling. I'm dead serious. Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, that was a classic. It launched with more content, was a belted-rounded game than Street Fighter 5 on the PlayStation 4. And that's, and like I said, Capcom didn't do themselves any justice with this shit here. Like, I don't know what the fuck were they thinking. Like I said, they were doing stuff like that. You do more harm than good. And I heard they were trying to catch the Evo Pro Tour. You know what I mean? That's why they released it. But you could have put that game, for the pros to play it, and held off releasing it till you got at least the net code together. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've never seen a beta.
It seems like they had 3 betas before.
Like I said, that to me, that was a telltale sign.
Yeah,
I've been
it was.
forever.
People had said that, and people got shot down.
Yeah, I've said that. People, they choose. They say I'm just a crazy PlayStation hater. I've never seen a beta for a fighter before. Never. You know what I mean?
I think they should have definitely delayed it. I think that maybe they were a little bit under the gun because they haven't.
Sony needs that big game.
Well, they haven't had a really big game since Bloodborne. I mean,
they really haven't.
They really haven't had that, and this was kind of like to fix that, but in the end, they should have just released it and freaking by E3. They would have been better off because now it's beginning to get that stigma against it.
It's tarnished now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess if Street Fighter 4.
I think that Street Fighter was. I said it wasn't going to do well before I even knew.
Yeah, we had the bet.
Well, you had Mortal Kombat. You had Mortal Kombat wore everybody out. Killer Instinct's got the Xbox crowd. There's really not enough people in that fighting genre anymore. There just aren't. I mean, it's not. No one really talks about it that much. The Killer Instinct crowd is satisfying the Xbox customer. Mortal Kombat satisfied the multi-plat area, and they gave content after content after content. Street Fighter comes out. Now, here's the other thing. The thing about Street Fighter that sucks is Street Fighter is just a polished, painted piece of shit of Street Fighter 4. It's nothing more, even if it came as the full game. You didn't get a full game. But my point is, even if it was a full game, you were only getting a polished Street Fighter 4. There was nothing
I wouldn't even say that because it's not even on the level of Street Fighter 4, just to be honest.
It's not.
As far as, like, I don't know. Oh, my God. I guess I don't know what it takes to make games or whatever, time-consuming-wise. But if Sony was putting the budget, Sony sending engineers in there to help get this game up, running, or it's really, like I said, they put the game up for $30, and released it digitally, I guess, for $30, and then when the rest of the content was ready, the story mode and all that other stuff, or the other 30, I would have been fine with that, and just hold off on a physical copy. They still would have made some money. I know Capcom needs money, fine, but $65.
Well, it looks like they went with the cheap freaking servers or whatever. Because
I don't know.
This is just pretty bad. I mean, they kind of fucked the game up. I mean, you won't know. I mean, if it doesn't chart in MPD.
What's going to chart? I mean,
if it doesn't, then that's going to be real.
It has no choice but to chart. We don't have any games for no.
Well, it's two PCs. It's two platforms too.
Yeah,
so it
we didn't have any.
But if it charts number 10 or 9, you got to look into these things. I thought, that was going to be like one of their, biggest titles, but it doesn't. It definitely looks like it fell a little on the face.
I guess because they stumbled out of the gate, But it's like I said, I will say
this. It's just a matter of it might be pretty and
it is. It's a next generation looking game.
They should have just fucking delayed it. They would have been better off.
Yeah, because when something like this happens and it gets tarnished, even when June rolls around,
people say it doesn't work when it does.
Yeah. It's amazing how people, like I said, it's like I said a long time ago, people read the headline, they move on. People who might have said, well, I'll get Street Fighter 5 to see it's broken, it's a half a game, it's not worth your $30, your $60, whatever. And then all of a sudden June comes around, they're like, hey, look, Street Fighter 5 is complete. They're like, fuck that, it's broken.
I think what they're going to have to do, put that game to have legs and bend it all the bad, drop it down to $40. Drop it down, bite the bullet, and try to push as many units as you can. Now, I know they had the bundles with the themed console with the Ryu on the front of it. Like I said, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it's really fucked up though. I had high hopes for the game because I have a PlayStation 4, and I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed, I like the fact that I can live stream. Microsoft, step your game up. I can live stream straight from the console straight to YouTube. I think that's awesome. You know what I mean? So I enjoy live streaming. It crashed a few times. But I don't know if that was because of Sony's network or because of Street Fighter or whatever the case may be. But I enjoyed live streaming. But they need to do something. That to me, like a big game like that, they should have been on dedicated servers. You know what I mean? Should have been dedicated. Not fuck all that peer to peer. I know it's a one-on-one, mono. But I don't know with Sony with that shit. I mean, people said, well, they said again, it's not Sony's fault. But again, when you fucking have a beta for a fighter. That's bananas to me,
Multiple betas.
Yeah, it was 3. And it was crazy as hell. I even got a code I can talk about it. I even got a code to, check out the beta behind scenes or whatever the case may be. And I still can join. And I just told the guy, thank you. I still can fucking join. People are like, how are you playing Street Fighter 5? I'm not. You know what I mean? The motherfucker still.
Is Killer Instinct, because I know we haven't talked about this yet or we haven't get into it. Is Killer Instinct dedicated servers?
Yeah.
It
looks like it's dedicated.
It is. And not only
usually fight games are peer-to-peer, though, but this looks like it is dedicated.
No, the reason why I say dedicated is because they were doing the whole Steam, the whole PC with the PlayStation. You can fight both open thing. That's why maybe should have been, on a dedicated, server. That's why. Because there's two platforms together.
Xbox One Killer Instinct also has what's considered a jail. If you rage quit, you won't be matched up with legit players anymore. They put you in what's considered Killer Instinct prison.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like rage quit and just like unplug or whatever. And they cheese. That's what is considered cheesing up. And I guess Street Fighter doesn't do that.
So long. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I know people. I heard Titanfall Princess is awesome in that goddamn game.
Yeah. She plays it all the time.
I'm not getting beat by a chick. Fuck it. I'm gonna run. I'm a duck. I'm a ducker. Fuck that.
Well, one thing about Killer Instinct, though, it definitely has the best netcode going for fighting.
The new Arbiter trailer just came out too. It looks really good.
And did you guys see the changes they're making in the graphics? I posted it.
Yeah, are those Xbox One changes or are those?
Those are
Oh
Xbox One.
shit, crap! Come on, Jesus Christ, crap!
Well, no, I mean, I think you'd be remiss not to ask that every
No,
time. You hear
I think
something or
it's
see
pretty
something.
much.
You know what? I will say this. Because it wasn't dropping. It looked good. You know, if you see it running on PC, it's gonna be fucking like a 980 Ti is gonna be fucking
4K. Imagine playing it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So everything. I think. I think.
Now, are they getting season 3? They are, right? PC.
Yeah, we all getting season 3 in March. We're all getting season 3. But I like the way Microsoft does it. They just keep adding characters to the to the roster. You know what I mean? So you got everybody from season 1, season 2, and even like if you don't even buy season 3 and you have season 1, you can still fight people with in season 3. You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean? So if you didn't have the money, maybe you got the free one when they made it free, and it's the only one that you got, and people got season 3 or whatever. You still get the upgrades and everything that they're getting in season.
If you buy Killer Instinct season 3, do you get 1 and 2?
No, you just get.
No, but they should really come out with a box set. I think
they do. They're gonna do a bundle for like $40. They did it.
Well,
but
they should do a physical. They did for Killer Instinct. They should have the whole game. I think.
Well, they did it for season 1.
Yeah, season
Right,
1 did. It's
I would
got some
do it-
killer box art too. It's nice.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to find that right now on the.
I don't think that they should though. They should be a retail release though. It has actually I think the game did better than what Microsoft thought. I mean, when they first showed it at Evo, people booed it. That thing has a cult following. That Killer Instinct. My
Does
God.
Killer Instinct have the combo? I know it has combos, but does it have the combination like skill Ryan throws a fireball or Ken throws a fireball, whatever it is? Do they have that shit where they have superpowers each character or no?
They have their own stuff.
Yeah, the best part about Killer Instinct, what sets it above, say, Street Fighter, in my opinion, is the fighters all fight differently. Where if you go and play Street Fighter, or Mortal Kombat, a lot of them play exactly the same.
That's right. I agree.
So it looks like what they did is they overhauled the
everything.
Lighting and there's lighting improvement and they said basically the look of the game is much sharper. I mean, the picture, you look at the differences.
They worked on the shadows and all that stuff too, is what really helps. So yeah, I think it
looks a lot better. I mean, I'm looking at the screenshot. It definitely looks like.
Yeah, but like I said again, what I like the fact is that even if you only have the first season, once they update the game, you're gonna get the updates also. The new, textures, the new, everything that you're talking about right now. You're gonna get it also. You just won't have the characters, you know what I mean? But you get everything that we're getting.
It seems like Killer Instinct was a starter. It was pretty good, and now it's getting to be great. The only problem I have with it is they kind of need to have a noob mode because the game really is very.
I don't think. I think it's I don't know. Like I said, I'm not. I don't know.
It's very tough, man. Even on normal.
I don't want to say it's just tough. I just think that everybody's been playing it for a while. I stopped playing it. After season 2, I haven't played it in a long time, so I know I get my ass kicked. And I think people that have been playing it, they're fucking awesome. Got all the combos. I like the Saber Wolf and Fulgor. Those are my two guys, and the boxer.
You gotta practice like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Probably the last time I played when I beat Iron Wolf's ass, beat the shit out of Iron Wolf, and that's probably the last time I played it. And that was about a year ago. So I know I get my ass kicked. So gotta go back to the dojo with my gi. Are you guys getting it?
Get that gi out.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I hope they have more than a couple characters at launch for it. You know what I mean? At least 3 or 4.
Well, what we've seen so far, they got the Battletoads. It's launching with Kinmu. It's going to launch with 4 fighters.
I think Arbiter's going to be there first.
Yeah, they show him, so he's going to be there.
He's going to be what everyone uses.
He did look slick. I like Kinmu. I think they showed their trailer for Kinmu. My God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as they have Tusk there, my man Tusk, bring him back. But like I said, I remember Killer Instinct from the NES and the Nintendo 64. That was my shit.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo. There was also really good arcade ones too.
Yeah.
So.
There's a rumor going on right now that it's March 26th that it's being released. That is not confirmed. The developer or somebody associated said that's bullshit. Plus, it's a Saturday, and I don't remember any big games releasing on a Saturday.
Yeah. I would assume that. Yeah, listen to.
Bullshit.
Hopefully, it comes out a little bit sooner.
Reach out to one of them. Bring those guys on the show. That'd be awesome. Maybe reach out to before the game launches. Reach out to one of those guys that who's making the game.
Iron Galaxy.
Oh, that's right. Who made the first one again?
Some company that's now owned by Amazon.
By Amazon. What was the name of the game? What was the name of that goddamn? What was the name of that goddamn name?
It's true.
What was the name of that? What was their name? My God.
Double Helix.
Double Helix. There you go. Double Helix. And you know what? People were. You know why people gave Microsoft shit about Killer Instinct or whatever the case. I forgot they had the guy from the original KI. What was his name? What's his name?
Ken Lobb.
Ken Lobb. Yeah, he was there from day one, overseeing everything. But Double Helix. Not to be frank, I'm friends with one of the guys there. That their games earlier did the shit. They didn't make great games, so people were a little hesitant about them doing Killer Instinct.
Yes.
But from what he told me, they pitched it to Microsoft. They liked what they saw. I'm surprised Microsoft went out and because they owned that IP forever, went out and did something with it. I know it was something about their name. Fox had a show called Killer Instinct or something, but they came to an agreement. Microsoft can't make a show called Killer Instinct, and Fox can't make a game called Killer Instinct. So, actually, too, I was one of the first one to break their story and get any credit for it. But yeah, So I don't know. I'm just excited right now, man. We got next month we got Quantum Break. After that, when else Cuphead coming out? Anybody know?
No clue.
We might get some information on the 25th.
Yeah.
I seen today on Twitter somebody posted it. They have the Forza Horizon 3 box art, but only place to play. You had a couple of the Xbox One, getting Windows 10.
Oh well, there's going to be another place to play too.
Oh shit, crap! Let that off you. What's the matter, crap? Let it off your chest. What is it? The mouse and keyboard support? What is it?
Oh, that's ridiculous in my opinion too. Come on. But,
okay, all right. So let's explain. Let's see. You've been quiet. The show. Let's go and talk to us.
There's not really much to talk about. Microsoft sold you one thing, and now they're trying to just push and push and push and turn it into something that it's not. If people want a fucking mouse and keyboard, then get a fucking PC.
Can I play the devil's advocate here?
Leave the goddamn fucking console alone. Jesus Christ.
All right, can I play the devil's advocate? Did you own the OG Xbox?
Yeah, I still have mine.
Okay, I have one too. Could you name me one exclusive on the OG Xbox, big exclusive that wasn't on PC? That Microsoft didn't make ready for Windows.
No, I'm not talking about the games. I'm talking about fucking keyboard and mouse.
No, for what Tim talked about it. Tell me what you told me, Tim.
Well, the reason why first of all, this is not confirmed. Phil did say that he answered on a tweet that we're working on it or we're going to get it done. Xbox Mad released a leak where they're talking about an E3 mouse and keyboard Elite is going to be announced. So I think that's going to happen.
Mouse and keyboard Elite?
Yeah, I think that's supposedly E3 announcement. That's what the leak
controller.
Just for the keyboard and the mouse, because what they're gonna do is, in my opinion, they're going to enable it for games like RTSs and certain type of games that if you want to play a competitive PC player, you can play a competitive PC player with an Elite or with a keyboard and mouse, but you will get to choose who you play. There will not be no mixing and matching of people. That's the way I'm assuming. And if they don't do that, then you might as well throw your Xbox out, because you cannot play somebody with a mouse and expect to do anything with a controller. So, but I think that they're smart enough to know this. I think this is a little different than when they tried it in 2007. This is much more of a focal point for them. They don't have a unifying Windows 10 platform or DirectX 12. Those are big things that are all built into unifying the platform with cross-buy, cross-play. So, it's just going to be, I think it's happening. To me, it's not a big deal because I'll probably just use it for RTSs. I'm an RTS guy, so...
so you're comfortable already with the mouse keyboard?
Yeah, I
think
mean,
this is
I just honestly, for me, I would just get it for the RTSs.
Okay.
I will
you
play
think
those
it-
games
it's
on the Xbox One.
okay? All right. What about this? I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. Do you think it's a pitch to get more PC gamers on board to getting Xbox One because it has mouse and keyboard?
I just think it's the other side of the coin. I mean, we've been sitting here for months and months and months saying that, oh, this is maybe going to go to PC. This could go to PC. Well, now you're going to sit there and you have all these assholes that are, my favorite flip-flopper on YouTube.
Oh shit, Arsenal.
Arsenal. Every week he does a new Firewatch or, the depths and drones of Jimmy Carter or whatever the fuck game is coming out on PC. And he's like, I can't wait to play this, guys. This is something that really gets me away from the consoles, guys. I like to just sit there with my mouse, guy. So what I'm trying to say is here we are all these fucking days, and we keep getting the shit. Now, if you have the keyboard and mouse, I don't have any interest in it personally. But if you want to play Firewatch, knock yourself out. Get your keyboard and mouse and play with, Arsenal. But my point is that, this is the other side of the coin we were saying. We were like, this is kind of bullshit. Why are they getting all of our shit? I think I'm trying to make lemonade here. What I'm saying is that now with all these PC games that are out there, and maybe Microsoft's are they're all $3, $5. I can buy these games for $8, guys.
Right.
But
if there's like a Total War, let's just say there's a Total War 2 that's coming out in 2017. Right. That game will now come to Xbox One, as opposed to just hitting the PC.
Well, here's the thing. Why sell an Elite keyboard and mouse if this is a legit thing? Right. If you aren't planning to have it be for competitive multiplayer shooters.
I think like games like Halo 6 and Gears of 4, yeah, you're gonna have that option because they're gonna. Do you not
think that fragments the community though?
Yeah, well, it's just basically a selection on your UI, on your Gears 4 UI, keyboard only or console only.
And how do you stop like a third party, illegal third?
Well, right now you could do that. You could do that now.
I know exactly, but this will make it even like 100 times worse. And not only that, you'll have if you buy
I guess then all the pros will play in keyboard and mouse.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just the pros. You always wonder, when you get smacked, I can hold my own in Gears, but if they announce this kind of shit and you get in there and you're just getting fucking lit up, you know what I mean?
They're gonna have to segment the.
Yeah, that's my only issue. You know what I mean?
They're not gonna have you if they have you play keyboard and mouse versus the controller.
Hey, they let you play Forza against people that have a wheel. They let you play Killer Instinct against people that have a fucking fight stick.
Okay, but here's the thing. But still,
I
can beat people with fight sticks, and sometimes I drive like shit in real life anyway. But a driver will. It is what it is. But that's my only issue. Me with shooters, I got the reflexes.
I fucking hate the fragment. Let's totally fragment our small community already.
But if it gives more choices, if it gives more choice, if I don't have to play with them or. If they don't have an advantage or whatever.
What's a small community to you? You said that they were at 26 million.
It's not. Yeah, no. I said there's 25. I said there's 25 million.
That's not a small. That's not a small community though.
But there's definitely not no 25 million on Xbox Live. You might get, like Titanfall have 5,000, 6,000. I don't know how. They stopped listing how many are on their games now.
You know what? Crap. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I still think consoles.
Guys, listen.
Consoles. Controllers, not console. I think controllers are still.
At the end of the day, you're not going. I can tell you right now, crap. You're not going to like where Microsoft. I told you this in May of 2000 that we could pull the videotapes.
Okay,
I told you they're going this direction. You're not going to be happy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are not going to be happy.
Yeah, but there's going to be people that also come to the platform too. So those people who like yourself believe are just going to be replaced. It is what it is. That's the way they're going.
Well, for every, they still haven't replaced the last group of people that left.
Well, you were saying there were 26 million 2 months ago.
I said 25 million shipped.
Well, now it's shipped. That's not. Come on. I said 19.5. I said 19.5, and you said no. That's way too.
But this is a far cry from the when you hop on fucking Black Ops 2 when it launched on 360, and there's 2 million live right then. This is a fucking far cry from that where you got a few thousand.
It's not as popular as it once was. Let's be honest.
That's the way that it is.
It's not just none of their games are as popular as they once were.
Oh, let me say this.
Across the board with just there's no games that are having these the way Halo 3, the numbers they put up. There's not really maybe multiplayer.
And they keep fragmenting it, until it's even smaller and smaller.
Let me say this. I spoke to Phil. One day last week. shout out to him. You know what I mean? And I voiced some of the concerns that that Crap had, or that I was having. Like I told him, I've been on Xbox Live. So I've been on Xbox since the inception, since 2001. I've been on Xbox Live since 2002. I was a beta tester. I've been through all the racist shit, and trust me, back then Xbox Live was extremely racist. And I say that to say this, and I've seen this community grow. I've seen the console grow. You know what I mean? And I just like I told him before, and he said he respects us and iPad, what we do, and I just told him I don't want to see my console become a service. You know what I mean? And he said that they're just it's a way for us to get more stuff. You know what I mean? More or less. So like again, if you think about it, like I said before, you can't name one big exclusive that came out with the OG Xbox.
I don't even care about that shit. I don't care about the PC stuff.
But that's what it all boils down to.
That's where they're going. DirectX 12 Windows if you don't like it now, Crap, you're not going to like it.
Well,
later.
no shit, but look at it. Look at the Windows 10 store. Go inside it. It's a fucking shit pile.
I agree. That has to be work.
That's a heap of shit. The only one that's fucking there's only one AAA game in there. It's Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Nobody's gonna pick that shit over. That thing's gonna be a spectacular failure, and what they're doing
then at the end of the day, you're happy then, because guess what? They're all going to buy it on Xbox One.
Yeah, how are they going to get?
They're just going to buy it on Xbox One. So what does it really matter to you?
How are they getting back the fans? Is what I'm saying.
The PC, this whole thing doesn't matter. I don't understand what the hell we're talking about.
Do you not see it? What fucked them up years ago when they were going to launch the Xbox One? A fragmented message, and that's what they're doing again. They're fragmenting their message.
They already lost already. What are they going to do? They already lost.
I don't know. I did a video yesterday.
I'm going to speak to you the way this is, okay? They lost this gen. We know that. We all took the L, okay? It's up there. This is the route that they're going, and they're going to have a next-gen console, next-gen, and it's going to be the same thing. But at least that gen, they could actually recoup some of these lost people. These people who are lost, if those people weren't coming back with no games versus games in September, they're never coming back.
Yeah, that's what it all boils down to.
On the wall.
I just want to say this before you see what you're going to say, Crap. I just want to say this, and again, it all boils down to games. As long as we get more games and them able to make more revenue, putting their own IPs on their own, on their devices, and we get more, and there's more money to spend on games, I don't have an issue with
It's
that.
all bullshit. Phil Spencer sits on the fucking Windows 10 boards. He's pushing his goddamn Windows 10 agenda on everybody.
That's been the vision, but that's been the vision according to Bill Gates. That's been the vision from the start to have a Windows device.
No, he is on the Windows 10 board.
No, I'm just saying. But according to Bill Gates, that has always been their vision, to have a Windows product or whatever in the living room. And again, as long as we still have our console game and we're still console gamers, I don't have an issue.
Hey, that's fine, man. If they want to go ahead and set themselves up next gen, if there is one, another Xbox or whatever,
that's what they're doing, 100%. Now, there are legitimate concerns, like why does a guy play Gears 4 for free on PC and the same network?
Yeah,
that's a legitimate gripe, and I agree. There should be some pushback on that and some type of
from what I'm a little birdie, from what I heard behind the scenes, again, giving you guys all the gossip, that they're going to do better. I guess where the games will go. You know what I mean? We're going to get, maybe there may be some older titles, but they're going to be more AAA games. You know what I mean? For us, for them.
But see, to me, that doesn't do me any good.
I buy the game. I buy the AAAs that I want.
I know, but listen,
exactly. What they could do is they could actually, in my opinion, is they could drop the price $10 maybe, or do something. You have to say, okay, well, we have a little bit of a dilemma here. We have to give these console guys something.
Well, how much do you pay for Xbox Live?
It's $60 a year base price.
I buy cars all the time for $35.
Yeah, but that's not the point. You got to go by what it is for retail, Z, not what you get.
Shit! I test $60 sales on the dashboard. Renew now for 30.
I don't. None of us have paid $60 for years. But the point is, when you talk about it, the fact is that we are paying $60. They're paying nothing. And I agree with Tim. They give us
what you feel about this?
I don't want the AAAs. What I want to see is either half price, or I'd like to see what Crap has been saying, that we get something like an EA access through Microsoft Steam.
That's a cool idea.
So that we can get an infinite amount of vaulted games that we can have at any point in time and download. And that's
Windows 10 games.
No. Whatever.
AAA games.
Nobody wants Windows 10 games.
No, nobody wants. I agree with Crap there. I mean, I don't want to play, the
Lost. No, but they could put Rise in there. They could put Killer Instinct.
Rise, Killer Instinct, anything that's been, a year.
Sunset Overdrive.
Throw it in. I mean,
listen, I don't have a problem playing a couple of those little bullshit ass games for $2 and get achievements from them. Like we're achievement whores. I mean. You have a problem with that? I mean, run your.
No, but I mean, listen. The fact that Windows 10 games coming to Xbox gives more options, that's fine. I'm not complaining about that. But what I'm saying, I'm not going to play them myself.
Okay.
Personally. I mean, that's me. That doesn't mean I think it's a good service. You want to, but as far as making things equal between PC and console, Phil does have to understand that at this point in time, the console audience is looking and saying, so what about us now?
Right.
You've got to give something that's either going to be half off. We've all determined by doing the numbers that no logical billion-dollar company is ever going to get rid of $3 billion a year in revenue.
No, they're not. They're not going to.
But they could maybe deal with 1.5 billion. Right, but they could deal with 1.5 billion. Cut it in half.
Who's going to throw a piss away $1 billion? We're not talking about $1 million. We're talking about.
I agree.
It is. Look, I'm not saying it's a hard pill to swallow. All I'm saying is that there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Look at the Halo Championships. Started at 500,000, went to $1 million there, 2.5 million. That's all of the Rec Pack DLC. Listen to me. What I'm saying to you. What I'm saying is there's a lot of money we can't even talk about that we don't know about. So maybe they'll lose 1.5 billion somewhere else. But because all of a sudden now when somebody says something, they go, hey, wait a minute, online play is half the price on Xbox One, plus they have vaulted games. Maybe they'll earn some more money back on people buying the console.
I mean? PC guys, when they wouldn't do it. They want everything for free.
Well, fuck the PC guys.
I'm just saying.
You can't say that. That's Microsoft's target audience.
No, it's not their target audience.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's really not.
That's just stupid talk.
Crap, it's like, when you go to, Z, hold on a minute. When you go to every restaurant, okay, they have a goddamn vegetarian sandwich. Are they catering to the vegetarians, crap? No, they have to have it there.
Well, let me ask you, who got the Xbox update first? Was it the PC crowd or was it the Xbox crowd?
Yeah, but wasn't it you're right, crap, but who gives a shit? It was about seeing who's in your chat. I mean, come on, it's not a big deal. What I'm trying to say
I'm just saying.
Look, I do agree with you with the whole $60
Yeah,
a year.
but then you tell me you can't the preview that we're going to get in a week. PC's not going to get that.
They get preview members too.
Yeah, but they're not going to get what we're going to get announced this week. We're always getting catered to with the.
Well, updates. I mean, this Windows 25 on the 25th is going to be all PC related. They're getting the backwards compatible titles, every Xbox One exclusive. I mean, that's just like the people that don't believe that. Let that sink in. If you got a problem with it, get over it, right? Because that's going to happen. You're not going to have anything that's just on your console. They're catering more towards the PC for whatever reason. Keyboard mouse support, they're going to fuck up.
That's where they're going to go. Well, you could say that they're going to ruin it and this and that and have a really negative, negative way it's going to go. It might not go that way. They might actually get more games. It is different. It is something that they're just dropping on us, but that's the way they're going. So if you or the people who are in your camp, you might want to look over to the other side of the thing.
The other side has no games. There's nothing to play over there at all.
Wait, hold on. I just want to say this. From when I spoke, I didn't get that they're catering more to the PC side. When I spoke, Phil when they reached out, I didn't get that. How should I say? I think that again, they look at it as, and even Sonny said as Windows 10. That's the main thing. And your Xbox One is a Windows 10 device. We've been talking about that forever now, right? Windows 10, DirectX 12, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? I don't think they're catering more to the the PC gamer. I just say quote unquote. But I just think they trying to put us all on the same as gamers. Period. Not just we're gonna get more games.
In my opinion, what happened?
More games. A bigger portfolio of games, This is what I kind of got when he was saying that.
Man, but look at the Windows 10 store. It's worse than Sony's Indies, dude. Who wants that shit?
No. Well, here's the thing. That's not. For us. That really mean. At the end of the day, I'm just talking about them starting to put their own intellectual properties inside of their own store. Like a lot of those bullshit games you see in Microsoft owns those games.
Let me say something to the audience real quick, right? Like. You guys all have a voice. I have a very small voice too, and I actually made a pretty large ripple. You got Phil damage controlling in interviews, and Shannon Loftus damage controlling in interviews. If you have a problem with this, you're not a bad person for saying hey, I feel gypped. I didn't buy into this when I bought an Xbox One because I sure as shit didn't.
Okay.
You know, you
I
have
agree
a
with
voice.
that.
You
I
have a
agree with
voice.
that.
Make yourself heard. You don't have to feel bad or feel guilt. You don't have to get exclusive shamed or this shamed. If you don't want your goddamn Xbox One to be a fucking PC or play against PC people or fucking lose every goddamn game exclusive, because let's face it, a lot of us bought these things for exclusive, then fucking say something. You don't have to.
Let me ask you a question, Crab. Could you explain what is your issue, your main issue?
I have a lot of issues.
Well, I just basically outlined this whole issue. I mean,
well, I'm saying, so is it about the exclusive? Or,
dude, it's everything. It's the way that they cater. They changed the best place to play was Xbox One. Now it's not. You're talking about adding.
I disagree with that. That's the
Phil Spencer said it. He says we're about the best place to play, but didn't say Xbox One. What he means is Windows or what have you. You know what I mean? It's like
look like this. Look at this.
I mean, come on. I mean, the bottom line is that
I think I can knock the bottom out this motherfucker with this. Right? Look at your Xbox One. What is the OS that it was running?
It's running fuck if I know. Whatever that fucking
it's running Windows 10, right? It's running Windows 10.
When it works.
Okay, well, whatever. I mean, your console. I mean, you know, what I mean, something. You talk about Microsoft's
the problem with
own IP. I mean, their own intellectual, their own, this their own hardware. You look like this. Only Microsoft, they say this because Microsoft, I'm sorry, Sony and Nintendo, they don't have the means to follow Microsoft in this realm. Okay?
But they keep slapping that Windows shit on everything, and even where it doesn't really make sense.
But at the end of the day, it does not affect you. You're still going to grab your fucking controller and play games.
Those who are going to play on, that's what in the day.
Honestly, I understand where you're coming from because
it's not going to affect us anyway. It's not going to.
It's not really going to affect your everyday console use.
How doesn't it affect it? If I'm playing in a watered down room now because half the people.
But that's you're saying it's watered down. You're predicting things that are you're going totally negative, and that's what you do.
That is because when you
always go the typical. That's not the reality.
If you're playing,
if you're it's this scenario, it sucks.
Wait, hold on, time out.
Well, it is when they pull the rug out from under you.
You don't know how it is.
Hey, they're getting the shit kicked out of them, so they're changing the page.
PC, hey guys, I'm about to pull a weapon wheel pot. I'm about to mute you, motherfuckers. I did when you guys blocked me. So you know, again, who's fucking with you? No, but again,
Crap, it's just not changing. So in the end, you're just gonna be a fucking salty motherfucker for the.
I am gonna be because they're pulling the rug from out from underneath the people that bought this fucking piece of shit.
How? Explain how.
Because first of all, but you were getting it under thinking that you would have a certain things, right? I don't want to be matched up with any fucking with PC. I don't want to even have PC peripherals on the fucking box.
Listen. What if that's not the? What if Microsoft has the option that you don't have to play with PC games?
It's not just the option because eventually somebody's going to figure out a way past
it. The reason why I say that because it's not hard to do because you can do it on the PlayStation 5. I'm sorry, 4 with Street Fighter.
How is a keyboard and mouse?
Let me say this. Okay, again. I thought that would be an issue. Actually, it's something easy to do because right now on Street Fighter 4, 5, whatever fuck, I can choose to play against Steam players or I can choose to play against console-only players. You know what I mean?
Now, what is it?
Right now on PlayStation. So if Sony can do that shit, we all know that Microsoft can do it, okay?
Of course they're going to do that. That's exactly what they're going to do.
So I don't think, again, that's going to be the issue. You know what I mean? That you can either play with, if you don't want to play against, PC guys. I don't mind for a game like Fable Legends. They're probably still going to leave the option that you want to play against.
At the end of the day, console gamers are going to just play against console. It's just going to be defaulted
You have no choice in Fable Legends, though.
Oh, but that's. I mean, with games where
I don't know. We'll see what happens when it. Like I said, it looks like down the line they're going to do what Sony did. They're already implementing that stuff.
Yeah. So if Sony can do it,
but that's just the reality of it. I was outspoken of it as well, and I didn't like the time and the messaging. But now it's just like you're going to just be upset though for the next 3 years because it's just going to be constant this.
But here's the thing. But by them doing this and crap, we get more games. You know,
how are we getting more games?
Well, we have to
More
see
money.
at E3. Wait until E3. Maybe you have. What
more
if we blow?
exclusives.
What if we blow them out the water? Are you going to be praising Microsoft?
It's not going to be. I don't see how they're going to blow anybody out of the water.
How do you know? How do you know? You don't.
Because there's going to be a heavy
we can make a
Windows
bet right now.
focus.
I would bet
How is
anybody
it going to be a heavy Windows focus? It'll be about Xbox. It's going to be about Xbox.
Because everything is about.
You're acting like they're being like we're Windows. It's not like that. They're still Xbox.
It's exactly like that. Everything
No,
is under
it
the
isn't.
Windows umbrella.
It is. It's not like that in the fact that
Has their
you're
CEO
still
not said that everything is
All
Windows
you mad
now?
about
But listen, listen what you're saying. We talk about Microsoft. They are Windows. Crap, what the fuck is the big deal?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's true. It is what it is.
Microsoft has always been Windows. What the fuck is the big
And
deal?
hey, what's this? What's the 25th about again?
They have an event, you know.
When was the last time that like us as Xbox owners just got something like good news just for us?
Gamescom.
Gamescom.
What was the good news there?
What was the good news there?
All those
Halo Wars
exclusives?
2 exclusive.
It's not exclusive though. That's not.
What's not exclusive?
If you don't think if you think a game is if that's what you predicate.
Oh wait, so Quantum Break is not exclusive?
It's on the Windows 10 platform, which is what they own. If that's your argument, then it's at the end of the day you're never going to be happy because that's where everything is
for
going.
now.
So let me ask you a question now.
It's not going to change either. That's
let me ask you a question.
the
So
reality.
what you're saying is all these games that are coming out, Cuphead, Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, whatever. None of those games are exclusive?
No. Well, I mean, because it depends on what they're on, but I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say
so they're not exclusives because Microsoft took their own IP. So let me ask you a question: Is Smash Brothers exclusive?
Yeah.
I can play Smash Brothers on my 3DS.
Yes, but Nintendo makes that hardware, and it's a different game. I mean, it's not. You can't.
Microsoft makes that OS.
But they don't make the hardware
in their own store.
They don't make the hardware though. You see what I'm saying?
But they make the software. They make the brains that make the.
What does it really matter at the end of the day to you?
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is,
at the end of the day, you're still gonna pick up your game and you're gonna fucking go. And
what I'm saying is, they pulled the rug.
Oh, I got one better.
They did. I agree with you, and I backed you on that.
Listen, I got one better. I got one better.
Horrible.
Listen, when you buy the game, you said they don't make the hardware. So when you buy the game from the Windows 10 store, who gets? Does Dell get a piece of that?
Yeah, well, we assume that all of them are going to stay.
No. I'm asking. So when a PC guy, whoever, a gamer buys the game from the Microsoft store, what's it? The Hewlett Packard Bell or the E Machine? Do they get a piece of that?
No, it's if Microsoft publishes
it goes
the game,
where
then
in Microsoft pockets, right?
It's true, but there's no
what the
money
fuck
to
is
be
the
made
deal?
from the Windows 10 store. So why fuck with
that's
it?
bullshit. They just sold 430,000 copies of Tomb Raider. It was across.
It wasn't Microsoft.
But how could you say that? If Quantum Break sells 1.5 million as opposed to 100,
it's not even in the top 100 on fucking Amazon.
You don't know until it comes out what the real numbers are.
Oh, yeah.
You sound like the guys with Forza, and then it sold 1 million. So please
no,
stop.
look, listen.
Cat fight.
It's not even that, but look, if putting your big exclusive,
you're doing the same things that people said were wrong doing. So let's just wait until we get officials. But let's just say
we'll never get officials. They'll never announce shit.
Okay, they announced that it was hit 1 million for those 4 games. So
they did, but I mean, yeah, so great because
if it hit 2 million, what if it was 1.5 without it? That's where you get more money. There is going to be more money. You are opening yourself up to more sales. On Windows 10 storefront. There is no denying that.
Until they put their shit on Steam, they're not making anything.
No, they're not putting it on Steam. They're not putting it on Steam. It's only Windows 10. That's confirmed.
For right now, yes. With that,
no, that is their mission statement. They are not going to put anything on Steam.
Oh, because they would never lie to us. They would never lie to us.
How about we make a bet? $100 bet. If one of those games, Gears 4, goes to Steam, I will give you $100.
Anything that they're going to do crossplay on, they can't. They can't.
Okay.
Because anything they're going to do crossplay, it would have to be
Halo.
Again, that's going to have to be crossplay. They can't do Steam with crossplay. That's only going to be Windows 10. But that's not the same.
Crossplay. What's the crossplay in Quantum Break?
There is none.
Okay, why isn't it on Steam?
I don't know.
Exactly, you don't know. But I'm telling you,
but hey,
the way it's going is it's going to be the Windows 10 storefront.
Do I believe the damage controlling that they've fucking done? They said that it wasn't coming to PC 2 weeks before announcing it came to PC.
Yeah, no, their messaging on it was horrible, and I took heat from it too. I went after them too. So you can't say that they didn't. But that is the way they're looking at it. They're taking these games and they're trying to embolden their Windows 10 storefront, which is what they own. It is their part of their OS, and they are trying to get money and recoup money that way. That is their ideology
Microsoft
of
is a
this.
business, man. They're all about a dollar. Oh, listen, is anyone getting Sony flack? Check it out. I think I can knock it right here. Is Sony getting anyone flack right now? Because right now I can play God of War 3 on my fucking Samsung 4K television upstairs in the bedroom. Is anybody giving Sony flack about that for putting their exclusives?
I mean, that always looms large for them. I guess if you're like a PS4, a PlayStation 4 guy, but as of right now, you can't play anything.
But is anybody? But listen, Sony doesn't even own Samsung's television. Like even when Sony had PSN on their own TVs, when it was exclusive to their TVs, with all their exclusive stuff, did anyone say anything? But when you spend that money,
Nobody says
nobody get a cut but Microsoft. It's all in Microsoft pocket.
Here's the problem, too. A lot of people on the internet, all right, are going back to 2013 when Microsoft made the quote-unquote bad reveal. Everybody was up in arms, and then Microsoft did a 180. Well, this time they're not going to do a 180. This is what's going to happen. So the complaining is just really for naught. And at the end of the day, as Tim has said 80 times already, when you come home from work and you pick up your controller, nothing is different. There's no difference. It doesn't matter.
If I got motherfuckers using a keyboard and mouse against me, I'd say that's quite a bit different.
It's not. It's not. You're not listening.
To play them. You're going to have just like
How do you
Zaire
know?
said. What did Zaire say? Did you listen to what he said about Street Fighter 4?
Yeah.
Did you listen to what he said? Now you're saying they're playing against keyboards.
How do you know?
Because I know that's the way they're setting it up. We interviewed Mike Mika on another show. He basically talked about the tools they have in place.
Yeah, Mike Ibarra.
You're saying Mike Ibarra, the same thing. He said the same thing.
Ibarra said it on his Tick podcast interview back before Christmas when they talked about it. He said, we're working on it. We are well aware that we
Are you just going to ignore that crap and just say...
I am, because
that's exactly right. You want to just go down this road. You're going to just ignore it.
I'm just telling you that. I'm just telling you.
You don't take that into effect.
Listen, everybody is just saying, okay. That's what everybody's saying. Okay, well, let's let them do this. Okay, let's let them do this. Okay, let's let them do this. Let's let them lie about this. Let's let them do this. I mean, seriously, everybody's sitting there bending over, and I'm just sitting there looking at all you motherfuckers with the big green cock coming at your assholes. Go ahead. I'm not going to be that guy.
Well, that's you too, because you're on 6 days a week on Xbox One. You're always on Xbox One.
I am, because it's a fucking it is. But guess what?
That guy on Xbox One, you become that. That's what you became. Now you're just gonna be
but I mean, look,
one of these salty motherfuckers on Xbox One.
It's them that's doing that. They're they're hardcore fans.
You're still pissed about what happened. I was pissed, but I got over it. It is what it is. What is my alternative?
You can't keep fucking with people. That's what I'm saying.
Can I just say one thing? So we shout out to the 440 people watching us live. You guys, all you guys, Rocky, getting a behind-the-scenes cat fight. This is how we sound behind the scenes.
I'm no fucking cat. I'm a dog.
Or you get a dog versus a fucking hyena in fucking crap who's dangerous. Hey, crap, let me ask you a question. Would you feel better about everything if Phil was to tell you, explain to you more, or whatever the case may be?
I don't care about any of that shit.
Crap, you understand?
He's out of touch with what the 18 to. You know what? Check your analytics next time you get a chance, and find out what the most average age is of the person that watches your show. I bet you it's going to be the 25 to 35 range or the 18 to 35 range.
Okay.
That's who's caring about this shit, right? They aren't caring about all the stupid shit that Microsoft is doing. And yes, Mooch, yes, exactly. They're not caring. So why are they talking about this and doing this shit?
They have a place where they can sell games to PC on their own store.
The PC gamers don't even want that shit on that.
Crap, if you own a store on one side of the street, then you'll
and there you go saying things.
Somebody goes over there. Who
cares?
cares?
Don't want that. That's not true. PC gamers, you were mauled by PC gamers that were just dying to get the Quantum Break on the Windows storefront so they can play it on their PC.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the Windows 10 store?
Okay, but listen.
You can say it sucks all you want, but the bottom line is they're going to sell Quantum Break on the Windows.
I'll say this here again. You know what I mean?
And more probably on Xbox.
If I have one store across the street on Board Market, I got another street on Main Street, and I put my devices in both stores. I sell chicken and hamburgers in both stores. The money still goes to me. They have like I said, they're in a unique spot. that they can make money on multiple, platforms. You know what I mean? It's not going to change where we play our games or we get our games. Listen, I had the same concerns as you, crap. You know that. And it's crazy.
So did I.
Shout out to Southbound. Southbound said, man, because I don't really, I don't tweet people and stuff, barely. And Southbound was like, damn, Zaire, Phil was like, damn, Zaire's just talking about me too, because I don't fuck with nobody. I don't bother anybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's when he said that. So, you know what? Let me speak to him. Put the bullshit aside. I inbox him or whatever the case may be. And with that, like I said, I voiced to him my concerns. You know what I mean? And we still gonna get our games. That's the way that we game right now. Nothing's going to change. It's just another avenue for them to make more money, and I don't have an issue with that. As long as the way I play my games and then stuff don't change.
Well,
and
I would like to see some.
Yeah, as long as that don't change, that's what I took from the thing. As long as that doesn't change, I'm fine. I say fine by me, because again, Sony does not satisfy my needs.
Well, that's the big thing. Maybe Nintendo at NX might change crap and you guys, but there's nothing. There's nothing that's going to.
And it's not even enough against Sony.
I just honestly, I kind of like I had that's, as a consumer, that's basically right now what they're going with, where they're going. And then it's up to you. Either you're going to be a salty motherfucker on your control,
or you tell them you don't like that shit. Maybe they change their mind.
I don't think they're changing their mind.
They did with their DRM bullshit.
They're not changing. You don't have the support. Basically, you were the poster boy, and everyone hated you.
Hey, that's fine.
And that's the way it went. It wasn't fair to you. I'll give you 100%, and it wasn't fair to you. You were the fall guy. But this is not DRM, dude. This is not changing. They now know more than ever that they're going to go this route. So that's why I'm telling you, Fred, as a consumer, that's where they're going. And if you don't like it, I understand, and I can see why you're upset. But at the end of the day, your alternatives are you can play on.
I have plenty of alternatives. It's all good.
Hey, but listen, here's the thing. Well, I don't see really what's the big deal if they're going to sell their games in the store. Again, I'm not even damage controlling this. I'm keeping it funky. Like I said, crap. I voiced the same. I told you, I gave Phil an earful. Like, what I mean. I didn't. I'm not rude or anything. I didn't curse or anything like that. But I have the same concerns as what you guys are service, or you get out of the hardware business. What's going on? You know what I mean? I invested a lot of money on this platform. You know what I mean? And from what I also got to behind the scenes, that the Xbox brand is straight. At least another 10 years. You know what I mean? Just going about what the resources they have now. You know what I mean? Without even making any more money, it's good for another 10 years. You know what I mean? So I'm fine. As long as the way I get my games and play my games, if that doesn't change, I'm cool. I don't have a problem with them selling fucking bras in the men's store. I don't. This money. Like I said, I'm a businessman myself. They can make more money. And like I said, you got to realize this crap. We all praise Microsoft. For how they are at business. You know what I mean? Look at their stocks. Those motherfuckers know how to get money.
Care about their fucking stocks.
I'm just saying, and I'm just keeping it real. Sony cannot. They're not even on their radar.
I'm worried about that. I'm worried about catering to.
What are your biggest concerns? If you can still get your games and play your games, and none of that shit changes, what's the deal?
Well, it is changing.
How?
I mean, just look at it. Everything around you is changing.
You can still get control of it and play?
You're afraid of change, and I understand that. A lot of people are. But you don't ever give you can never look at something, you can only look at something one way. And that's just the way you are, crap. You will only look at the negative way about something once you align against it.
Well, I don't really look at it.
Then it becomes piece of shit. You will never say, well, and I notice you've done this with Sony a lot. You've never said, well, Bloodborne was actually hit. No, you still said it was niche, and you still said, it's not really niche anymore.
Make a fun of the audience.
It's sold 2 million, dude. It's not niche.
Yeah, but it sold over 1 million in Japan.
Who cares? It still sold 2 million. It's a big number.
What 37 million installed?
250K, dude. You could go round and round. That's one of their biggest top sellers. You just never look at you'll never look at the positive side of something or something that could come out positive.
All right, listen.
Dude, I don't look at 1 or 2 million as being a hit when you've got like almost 40 million consoles out there.
It is what it is. It's not a niche game.
But here's the thing. Again, you know what, crap? How long have we had Windows on our system? For a while. Right?
Did anybody ever really ask for that shit though?
I mean, it came with it. I mean.
No, I agree that we weren't sold on this 100% in 2013.
I mean, but okay. I don't. Did they change focus or anything? Direction?
What happened was that they were doing shitty, and Satya came in, and there was talks probably about selling Xbox or getting rid of Xbox, and this might have been a solution. There was talk at that time.
Listen, it ain't bad as the Wii. Now, come on. Now, it was selling
bad.
No,
but it wasn't when.
Listen, we got to stop at like the Xbox.
Let me say something.
Can I say something? I'm going to do a comb over here. Listen, in all honesty, like, can we look at the other side of the coin? We're sitting here complaining about Xbox. How about the Sony fans that came from PS3 that thought they were going to get all those exclusives? What about all those exclusives they were promised on stage for the players? We game here. Blah, 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 blah. They haven't gotten shit.
Good point.
But yet they don't say anything.
Nope.
It's always the Xbox community, and I've made a video on it. I've made many, but I made a few on this one that just constantly complains. And the Sony guys, they get shit on. They got no online. They got no games. Their controller dies in 3 hours. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's honky-dory. You know how many people I have on my Xbox line and on Twitter that go pony, and then they come back and they're like, Mooch, please unblock me. Please unblock me. I'm sorry I went over there. I've been holding my 3-hour controller. Listen, nothing is over there. So what I'm saying is, even with the false maybe propaganda, or not false, but we weren't sold on certain parts of it, so was the Sony camp. They were told that they were going to get this and that, and definitely the games. This is where the players are. They don't have shit. They just got a game for $60 with 6 characters and no fucking verses. In a fighting game. But you know what they're all doing? They're all holding hands and lighting a candle and watching us.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say. So why don't we shut up? Let's play fucking games. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about what's going on. And let's hope that the fucking things that they're doing on Windows 10 do benefit us with features and games and keep an Xbox 2 coming. I don't understand why we're still going around and around. Plus, we don't have any...
I agree. I'm at your mindset now.
We don't have...
I am too. I am too.
Go ahead, Tim.
Like I said, when I spoke to Phil...
that was an excellent point.
But, when I spoke to Phil, any worries and that stuff that I had, they went out the door. I'm on board. Windows 10, Windows 10 fan. Windows 10 fan. Like Mooch said, they're not complaining. We're getting Mooch, crap. We're getting games. We're getting AAA exclusives, bro.
Hey, dude, did you ever ask for Windows 10 though on your Xbox? Or...
I didn't ask for a fucking light on my PlayStation 4 controller either.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, even though.
No. I will say this, crap. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm being real. I get it. But I do realize one of the things I like about the Xbox, and something I've always said, you look about when you first bought the 360, and look how much it changed and it evolved to what it is now. That's one of the things I like about Microsoft. They are a software company, and my product is always forever changing. I love it.
They're turning the Xbox One into a goddamn Frankenstein.
What though?
It is, man. It's just a fucking Frankenstein. It is, and then you got people like.
So what is the OS you don't like? But I mean, at the end of the day, you games. Are your games working? You can play your games. If you don't like if you don't like all the bells and whistles, you can still just play your game.
Yes, but listen, what they've done is they've completely, like you said, they are not even for a software company. They're not even worried about giving you updates and shit. Where is the YouTube streaming?
We just got
where's the fucking party chat that includes everybody?
Come on, the party chat's gonna be announced next week, please, dude. Other team doesn't.
Where's the music in the background?
That's coming in the summer.
Listen. Well, you gotta realize this crap, you know what I mean? And again, it's not me damage
control. What are they doing?
But listen, not me damage control. When Microsoft puts things out, sometimes they take this out, they make sure they work, right? There's been an issue. Like I've had hiccups on my live stream with and I don't know if it's Sony's network, I don't know if it's the game, but I had some issues, streaming, to YouTube. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I had some issues, even with the voice and the chat, but like I said, I know we're getting that. But they fix things, behind the scene to make sure they work before they just roll them out. You know what I mean? They actually just in some time.
Yeah, the chat's coming this week. You'll hear about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, but you know what I mean? Or like I said, I don't.
Hey, maybe they could get
Sony have one up. Dude, Sony have one up with the live streaming straight to YouTube.
Go try Sony. Go try PSN down.
Hey, I haven't even fucking been able to do a party chat for 3 days.
Or what?
On Xbox Live.
Oh, I haven't been.
I've had no problem.
It's been
I can't
a
even
little
get
buggy
into
for
it.
me. It's been buggy for me. It has been.
Okay, but now with that being
I'm
said,
working
Crap,
on it on the
listen,
back end.
let me ask you a question, Crap. Who do you think has a better gun? What do you enjoy playing most? The PlayStation or your Xbox?
But listen, I do enjoy play like the Xbox stuff. But listen, the reason
Okay,
why is
we
because
get somewhere.
I don't have the friends networks on there. It's like this is the thing. Everybody's like, just go. It's not as simple as just going to PlayStation. You know what I'm saying?
So
It's
you
like
prefer PSN over
you're
Xbox
with
Live?
you're
All right.
with
If you went PSN total and you made a video and you went to did a complete 180, you would have a bunch of friends on Sony and they'd be loving
There's
you.
people there.
No, I mean
And
those aren't
Crap,
my
it's Crap,
friends.
there's people there.
Listen. I'm talking about my friends. I don't really
Okay,
give.
but
You
they're
know,
not your friends. But like I did a
What are
live
your
stream,
friends saying,
and
Crap?
I was in a party. There are people there.
my friends are annoyed at Xbox Live at the whole Windows focus and shit as well.
Well, are they focused on Windows though? I mean, what the fuck?
No, he's just exaggerating. He'll just
No, dude, I think I know my friends.
He'll just no. I'm saying your friends. Well, I think your friends won't tell you the truth that they actually just will play the console.
Yeah,
Because you're obviously pissed off about it. You're still fucking making this an argument 3 weeks later. It's like, what are we gonna do, dude? You're just gonna be fucking miserable for the rest of your life?
But listen, I don't. Maybe I'm just naive again. You know what the OG Xbox name was going to be? The Direct Xbox. And when you think about Direct X, you think about PC, right?
I'm not worried about no fucking PC.
I'm not saying, but when you think of Direct X, you think of PC, right? And you know, if they're unifying their platforms, and the fact that it's all behind DirectX 12 and Windows 10, the fact that they can port Forza 5 to PC in one day, you know how much money that saves, Crap? I mean, Microsoft a fucking genius. Sony can't fucking touch them. You did a video yourself saying the 10 ways that PlayStation can be better, and look what Microsoft does.
And none of them have to do with putting their shit on on PC. It was all just like
Sony. Come on, 90% of Sony's library is on PC. What are you talking about, Crap?
I'm talking about like you're never gonna have to worry about.
Hey, must I remind you?
How worried do you think a Sony fan? Hey, how worried do you think a Sony fan is about Uncharted, The Last of Us?
I don't think they would give us.
God of
You
War.
know what they wouldn't care? Know what they would do? They will combine those cells and brag about it on the MP fucking D. They wouldn't give a fuck.
No, here's the problem. You know what Uncharted fans are worried about? Crap, they're not worried about going to PC. They're worried that they're 3 years into a fucking console cycle and they haven't gotten a game yet. That's what they're fucking.
Yeah,
and The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 will do.
Listen, why is it like everybody's like, oh man, what are you gonna do? Go PS? No, I mean,
I'm just answering the question that was just said. You said Uncharted. Uncharted hasn't been out yet. They're still having problems with it on the back end. They're still having issues. The game is the Naughty Dog's a crackerjack group. They're not the same group they were anymore. Nobody's talking about that in the media. The Last of Us, everyone's like, can't wait for The Last of Us. They haven't gotten this game out. They got a skeleton crew. The Last of Us 2 will come out 2 weeks before PS5.
I don't really give a shit about The Last of Us anyway. I thought it was terrible, but
they're in trouble. But everybody doesn't say shit about Sony.
And Crap, and no one complained about. You see anyone complaining about God of War being on the Vita? No.
God of War. Where's God of War 4? Oh, yeah, it's on the scrap room floor at David Jaffe's fucking stuck to his fucking back of his
Crap is right. Is totally entitled to his opinion. And
yeah, for sure. That's what makes
I will give him that. It's just that I understand where he's coming from, and I understand why he's angry. It's just that at the end of the day, we're not going to change it. They're going this way. So.
Yeah, I don't say it. You know, like I said, what's one thing about us, and we all have our individuals' opinions. We respect, and it's we're just having a discussion.
Here's the other thing, Z. Here's the other thing.
Yeah,
this time, the media is behind it. The media is not arguing with them. Nobody's you got the Boogies and the Joes and the this and the that's all tweeting and being like, yay, we love it. And you got Ryan McCaffrey and everybody being like, yeah, we love it. My point is that this is not like DRM. This is not where you take a stand. This is the one time where it's going to be like the old school days when we were kids. Like, stop and think about it. What actually happened in 2013 was a marvel. I mean, it's going to go down in history that the voices were heard on social media and turned $1 billion ship around. That was insane, right? But this is not that situation because the effects are not the waves are not that they're not that detrimental. So the media's on board with it. The majority of people don't even know this is going on. That's the other thing. Nobody even knows about this. The only people that know about this are the people that follow us on Twitter. Like, nobody even knows. My friends play Xbox every day. If I don't go in and tell them about this, they're like, what are you talking about? Windows 10 has a store?
Yeah.
You don't even know that
Not
exists.
much of one.
Those are the same people. Those are the same people that'll go in and buy Destiny on PlayStation 4 and think it's exclusive. Like that's the majority of what you're dealing with when you're dealing with public. And
It's knuckles.
no, and they won't. No, their heads will explode if you talk about DirectX 12 PC.
Yeah, they don't know what we're talking about. They have no idea. That's what I'm saying. And I keep saying this, and I think it's such an easy comment that comes out of my mouth, and people may be downplaying it. But when I say it doesn't matter, I truly mean what those words mean. Just like in anything else in life, it really doesn't matter. What is going to happen is any extra revenue made on this still goes into Microsoft's pocket. Check. Okay, plus. Anything that's not is still console sales. And we are all console guys. I'm not buying a PC. I have no interest in it. Crap, I'm with you on that. You're not buying a PC. And here's the other great thing. Anyone that bought an Xbox One game from 2013 until yesterday is still going to keep buying it. Don't listen to the assholes and these You're listening to these assholes online that are just bothering you. They're literally you see the people in the live chat that come on before we even start recording, and they're X1 dead, Xbox is dead, and they have 75 different names, but it's the same guy.
Well, listen, I don't think the Xbox One's dead at all. I think that obviously it's not, because they're going to ride out the generation just like I am. I said I'm going to ride. I'm riding it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, but the wheels aren't going to fall off. The PlayStation brand might go underwater before the wheels fall off Microsoft. They've only got 400 billion more than them.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, look, I'm not even bringing up Sony.
What if Microsoft builds another console and they are building? Well, what is your take on that? That's not Windows 10. That's another console.
It depends on what it is. You got people like, it'll probably be like a Steam box. Who the fuck wants a Steam box?
What if it's just a fucking high-powered rig, like a high-powered console where it's like...
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're gonna have to offer me something that I can't get anywhere else.
What if they just offer you the highest specs and the Elite controller?
I'm not. Look, the Elite controller is good, but again.
Well, higher specs box console that costs $350.
I want some exclusives. I want to feel, a sense of.
Next gen. If you think that this is all setting up next gen right now, they're taking their lumps right now. You don't think that they're feeling this? They are feeling this, but they're taking their lumps now because next gen, when we get another console, guess what you're going to be making videos about? Xbox got the newest, most powerful console.
If they do, but they.
And you'll be loving
I usually, it depends. Like, I can't afford, if they come out around the same time, I can usually only get one. So it would depend on if they're giving me something that I can't play anywhere else. I'm just being honest. If
you're going to buy another Xbox console, you'd sell your fucking...
I don't know. Look, I'm riding out this generation. That's all I can do. That's the only thing I can say. I like the Xbox. I think that the Xbox One is good. But like I said before, I wish Microsoft thought their box was as good as I do. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's the best thing about the Xbox? The games?
I like the games and the controller, but again, I think that they took a step back with a lot of things.
Okay,
like,
so you like the games and the controllers, right? And that's the primary thing. We buy these consoles for their games, right? And that hasn't changed. And if we get more games, it's a win-win for us. Am I right? They're not forcing you to use a mouse and keyboard.
They're not. But look, do you not feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that feels
I'm just saying. The reason why I had these same issues as you, Crap. But just me thinking about Street Fighter V, I have an option to play.
You almost feel like we are the refugee camp at this point. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, how can you feel like you're a focus when we haven't really, you know what I'm saying? And like, yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the next thing. When are we going to actually get some good news? You know what I mean? Like something just for us. I would love that, I mean, yeah, maybe Tim's right. Maybe it was last Gamescom, but from now on, is everything just going to be about...
What do you think? E3 is going to be a Windows 10 fucking event with Windows branding? It's not going to be
I think everything's going to be, say Xbox One and Windows, and you know what I mean? And whatever. Like, if there is Elite keyboard and mouse, I mean, wouldn't that be where they announce it?
Yeah, there probably was. I would if that's where I would think they're going to.
I'm sure that's what everybody wants to hear about, right? It's like, hey, here's a keyboard and mouse
Well,
for your Xbox.
I honestly, I like to play RTSs. I will play them. So yeah, I would buy one.
Like I said,
Cool, but you have a capable PC, so why not just play it on Windows 10?
Because I like the Xbox ecosystem, and I don't want to deal with fucking PC, and I just want to turn on my Xbox. Xbox turn on. That's what I want to do.
That interaction you just had with Tim is what you should play over and over again and understand that. He's not changing. Why? Just because he's Tim Dog and he's a fan of Xbox and he goes on Twitter and he says he's a fan, that he's the exemption? He's the mass. He's the one. He's the one that we all feel like that. I actually thought about getting the keyboard and mouse, not because I don't even like RTSs.
Because you want to be hunched over your table.
No, I want to be able to get the reverse of what's going on. If I feel like I want to get if a PC game's coming to Xbox One, well, hell, I'll pick it up and I'm playing it on my Xbox One. Like, I'm not leaving the console space.
Right. Jamie's right. He says, I think we should have this conversation again at Topics after E3. All right, we freaking went way too long with this. I have a question. Not $800 since Jamie's $800 Vine. What do you guys think of that?
$800 what? Oh, Vine?
Yeah.
What is that
called? What is it called? Design? Samsung? No,
Samsung. There's $100.
The Vive.
The Vive.
Yeah, I think Samsung's is $100 or a little more. You click your phone into them. But again, even with this whole VR thing, it all comes down to software. And Sony and their marketing.
What do you think of 800? Do you guys realize how much $800
I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer that. Sony is marketing their peripheral as a mid-range machine.
I would say low to mid.
And right? HTC and Oculus Rift and all those guys, they're more towards the high end. We all seen the games that Sony is, they're running like PlayStation 2 games. I think if people are into that stuff and the games look good, they're gravitate towards that. But it's not the same thing as what Sony is offering. It's not the same. It's not the same sandwich, by far.
Well, here's my thing. You've got Vive coming out at 800. You've got Oculus at 600. And I love how the media is still saying Sony will come out cheaper. Listen, if they do, then we know the piece of shit that you're going to bring home.
Yeah,
right?
They said it's a mid-range themselves. They said it's a mid-range.
That doesn't hold any. I don't know what that means. I don't think since we're all walking into the VR generation, nobody knows what mid-range versus high-range means.
Well, you see the games, though. You've seen soccer robots and all that shit. You see how it looks.
Yeah, golf robot and boomerang flinging. Listen, the thing is that no one's going to. When you can subsidize the cost of a hardware piece like Sony did when they fucking ate their shirt for $399, that hurt them, by the way. When they did that, they knew that they were going to be able to grab people with the multi-plats and software that was coming out. Here's the deal. They don't have the software, and they don't have any third parties. Because their shit's all proprietary, they have to base everything on Sony's first party. Half their studios are working on this garbage that's coming out. So all these assholes, and the media is going to run with it week one because they're going to be like, oh my God, Sony's PSVR sold over 1 million units. Let me tell you something about that. 1 million, that's not what they want to hear. They want to hear 10 million in the first day. They're not going to get that. They're going to get 1 million from all the suckers like the assholes in the chat right now. All those guys are going to go out and spend $400, $500 on that piece of shit. And then when they get done with it, it's just going to drop like a lead balloon. I'm telling you right now, I was at Best Buy today, and Samsung had a station up for VR. There was one little awkward-looking man hanging out there trying out the fucking googly-eyed thing with the fucking.
Well, you look like a dildo when you're wearing that stuff. So,
exactly. You look like a douchebag. Like, the point of the matter is this is not something that's going to come home and become something that's catchy that everybody does. Sony's going to lose their shirt. This actually could be more. And nobody. Hey, listen, media, do me a favor. Don't report on it, right? It's only what you're supposed to do every fucking day. But the idea is that Sony invested every last dollar they have into this VR. They're selling off all these other parts of their company and this and that. They're putting their money into the VR. This is going to flop for them because they're not even going to give Oculus a run for their money. They're literally, as Zaire said, they're going to go ahead and say they're a mid-range. What customer ever wants to go in at $100, $150, $200 less than the competitor and know they're going to suck? This thing sucks. This is fucking 1980s Simpsons cartoon graphics. Sorry, buddy, we're not involved. Nobody was invested in this. Nobody's going to invest in this. But nobody realized that this may be detrimental to the Sony brand. How come no one's talking about that? PS5 can't happen. That hardware money, that's not going to exist if VR fucking sinks.
Well, but the media and stuff is going to shove the PlayStation VR at people pretty good. I think that 1.5 million to 2 million is easily something that they can get this year.
But that's low. Crap, that's low. That's low.
Yeah, that's not a lot. What they spend
You
on that
can't have
thing.
40 million PS4s out there and 1.5 million VR units.
That's like
That's where
PlayStation
your money is.
numbers.
Yeah, that's a Vita. It's a Vita fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're out.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know what the hell they're doing
I
with that.
think it's gonna be. I'm gonna go right now. It's gonna be $349 for just the headset and $449. That's my final thing. $449 for the deluxe.
If they really cram everything in that thing and they can do whatever they can, the deluxe I think is going to end up being That's 500 if they can really fine tune things. I don't see how they beat Oculus. I still think my true feeling, my gut, is that they're 600. They'll do their best to match who they think their competitor is, and they'll go for 600. I don't know if they can get much lower.
And that's going to hurt them in the casual market with the deluxe and the two models, because you're going to get the soccer mom, Jody. She's going to go in. I always refer to the soccer mom, but just the average, think of the mother type, and she's going to say, oh, wow, I could buy this for $349, and then I'm done. And it's not that. You need this, and you need the wands, and you need that. So in the end, the casual is just going to say $400. Fuck that, I'm not doing that. I'll just buy him something else.
Hey, $199, I'll buy it.
If they sell at $299, $399, they will.
It's not even so much with the price. What you guys are not, you don't take into factor that you need some software, some killer software. You name what's one must-have game for this $400 per investment.
Nah.
Office Simulator.
Exactly too.
Yeah. I'm just being real. Yeah, regardless if it's the weaker, the lowest of the Vive and the Oculus Rift. Can you name some must-have software this week? You need software to sell the hardware. Do you know any must-have type? How much are they charging for these games? Are they $60? $40?
I don't know.
$30?
I think they're 60, man.
They're gonna be $60.
Really?
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
I hope not. You know what?
Sony still has the Last of Us is still $50 on the Sony store.
I'm a close personal friend of Yoshida. I might ask him for a free one. You know what I mean?
Ask to review one. Crap, shit.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to.
Higher ups in Microsoft, so you might as well have been asking to review one. Fuck
excommunicated for.
Each of us has been shunned. He's been shunned for his blasphemous. She's been kicked out, man, of the group, man. Fuck, I don't know, man. Well, this has been an interesting conversation today, I must say. You okay now, Crap? You still out, boy?
I was never that was never an issue.
You're gonna pull a John Doe on you now. You're gonna make some.
There's nothing to talk about. Look, I feel a way about it the way I do. That's just how.
Hey, Crap. Hey, listen, I respect your opinion, Crap.
But like I said, people that are like, "Oh man, he'll just go to pay." It's not like that. I'm riding the gen out till the wheels fall off the heap. Dude.
You're voicing your concerns.
You'll be on that next gen Xbox carousel.
Oh yeah,
they have a lot. They have a lot to prove to me.
There's no. You're right. They do, but. And they have a lot to prove to all of us, to be honest.
What are your options?
They got to come out with the console that made wrongs.
It's got to be a fucking console, first of all. I don't want no fucking Steam.
It's not going to be a Steam
box. I don't want no upgradable fucking.
It's going to be a $400. It's going to be a $400.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of advancement or technology. I'm all for it. I understand that tech goes for it every day, and I do realize that these consoles here were not that big of a leap. I get that. They both were a cash grab for Microsoft and Sony. They weren't sold at the only hardware is sold at a loss. These weren't. I think that's so when it was like the breakdown. I think Sony made $18 or $9 per console sold, something like that. Sony used off-the-shelf parts, and but it's not even about that. But again, I'm gonna be. I don't like the direction of anything. I don't like the direction that Sony's taking this generation. Not so much Microsoft. My concerns are with Sony. Their only focus is on multi-plats and indies. That's if anyone should be getting a tongue lashing here, it's Sony. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with Microsoft making more money with their games, or like I said, one of the things before, one of the things that I do love about the Xbox that it always evolves and is always changing. It's something that we both praise. And look how it was at launch, and look how your system is now. You know what I mean? The system is always forever changing. And again, that's one of the reasons I choose the Xbox. But like I said, if anyone should have any issues with anyone, it's been Sony. Where the fuck are the games?
Yeah, look, I'm hoping that they have a good year too, man. I got a PS4. I want to play it.
But listen. We all know that Sony's budget is what is tied up in VR.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you like, what do they have coming out? what's that? Attack of the Titan. Those games like that, you know, they don't appeal to me. I don't care for those games.
Well, those are list war things. You know what I mean? It's like those are
I
list
don't care,
wars.
you know, and that's what Sony's doing. You know what I mean? It's like me naming Raiden 5 that Microsoft has coming out, that Japanese title, and which I do like Raiden. Like, you know what I mean? That's like me leaving it on the list of exclusives. That game was like $30-$40, you know, for the physical copy. You know, was like a niche
Can I just
title.
be honest? This gen just has totally been really bad in my opinion.
You know why? Honestly, you know why? We can blame the industry. You know why? Because normally when consoles come out, the previous gen dies. It's been too much cross fucking development. You know what I mean? So we have not seen these games take fully advantage of these next generation consoles. You know what I mean? Even though they may have two different separate teams make the game still has to fit around the parameters of the DirectX 9. You know what I mean? It still has to come out on the PlayStation 3 and the 360. And that is the fucking issue. You have one console with 8 gigs of RAM, another with 1/2 gig of RAM.
Part of what you're saying is right, and it was that. I think you've been saying that since day one, so I'm going to give Zaire credit for that. He's always been saying if I find out a game keeps coming out on 360 or PS3, I can tell that we're not going to reap the benefits of what this console actually can do, blah, blah, blah.
No,
You're right. But the other thing you want to blame is you got to blame the social media. Social media and the gaming media have made this era what it is, and maybe that disgusting flavor in your mouth is because of the social media aspect of what's going on. When we were kids, I can't speak. If anyone was a true gamer like they all quote unquote say they were, I had a fucking Nintendo Power that showed up once a month. And when it did, it would give a tentative date in a book, and it would tell you when the thing would come. And I used to run to my local like Toys R Us or whatever with my dad, and we go there and say, "Hey, is this coming out?" They're like, "No, that was delayed, or we haven't heard anything about that game yet." And you waited there for 30 fucking more days till the fucking book came out, and they were like, "Oh no, it's not going to come out in March. It's coming out end of April." Blah blah blah. And then you go back and you're like, "No, sorry, we found out it's not coming out." And they're like, "Oh, all right, it got delayed again." And if you were a kid that played in the 80s and you know what I'm talking about, everyone's nodding their head up and down saying, "I remember that fucking shit. I remember that too." Everything in this generation is much better than most generations. Maybe the 360 generation was glorious, but listen, the Roaring 20s was great. The 80s were great till the crash. Listen, sometimes you go through these ups and downs. Well, no one asked the Reagan fans; they'll disagree with you. But you know, like my point is just that literally they'll tell you know there's always a bump in the road. This era, this generation is not bad at all. It's just a lot of the trolls and the media and this and that and the garbage and the social media up your ass every 5 minutes. And especially if you're in the lifestyle that we chose to get into. You know, I chose to get into this, so it's fine. I'll deal with it. But what I'm saying to you is that at the end of the day, at the end of the night, once I get done with this podcast, you hang out with the missus, you watch a little Walking Dead, you hang out. What do you do after that? Boom, strike up the Xbox, get that. Actually, the Xbox is already on. Strike that up, play a game with a couple buddies. You're either playing something online or you play something like, you know, I can't wait to play Quantum Break. Quantum Break is when I'm putting all the stops on everything else, going head first on that. And when you look at sales revenue, Microsoft's not out there putting the numbers out, but if you hear 1.5 million, over 1 million are going to be on the Xbox. Because the Xbox One is where predominantly everybody's playing that game. Nobody's playing on PC. PC's a bunch of hacks and people who want to play the $3 Steam sale games that come out in July and August. And they have a loud voice now because the internet is... Listen, there's 8 trolls in the fucking chat right now. There's 400 people listening, and the 8 trolls in the chat are the ones that won't shut the fuck up. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's life right now, people. That's life right now. You've got the mass that's enjoying the Xbox One, enjoying what's going on. And you know, crap, Zaire asked you a question. What are the things that you're looking forward to? I want to answer that question. I'm not going to put it on crap. I'm going to answer it. One of the key things that I love about the Xbox One is what is going to happen every month with the features. What are the new things we're going to get? It changed so much from day one on the 360 to the end. It's changed so much from day one till now on the Xbox One. That's what I like. I've only owned my PS4 since September of 2015, and every goddamn time I turn that on, it still looks like fucking 2009 with my PS3. It looks the same. It always will look the same because they aren't interested. They struck up different things on social media recently that were like, we're going to ask the gamers what they want. We're going to ask the gamers what they want. Not one thing that the gamers want is on the PlayStation. Not one that they've been asking for. Not fucking one. But every time we're like, hey, we want to have this. Hey, we want to see our people in the fucking chat. Hey, we want to do this. Hey, we want that. Blah, blah, blah. Backwards compatibility. This, that. We get it. We get it. We get it. Listen, even you were saying, when are we going to get music in the summer? When is this going to happen? Next week. When's that going to happen? In a couple days. At least you get answers. They talk back to you. The PlayStation, they could give two shits about your life. Yeah, folders. Change my name.
Yeah, I want folders too.
You know what?
Yeah,
I do too.
I do
know,
too,
it's a good idea.
It is getting that way. I'm with you on that. But I mean, in all honesty, the real reason is this: when you're a console guy, you're a console guy. The Xbox One is constantly evolving. And you know what? That's the exciting part about it. I get excited. Like, how about one day we were all sitting there and all of a sudden it was like 12-person party chat. The party chat on PlayStation still sounds like someone's talking between a can and a rope.
Hey, yo, I gotta go. Sony just lost another exclusive. Their show Power is now available on the Xbox One.
Power is on Xbox One. Let's everybody.
I read that on the cover of Big Whoop magazine.
People should be out in the streets right now turning cars over and fucking lighting them on fire.
Oh, now we can watch their show on our Xbox One. You know, it's Sony knows for them to make more money.
Hey, big shout out to the hundreds of people that keep messaging me on Xbox Live, like support and stuff. I appreciate it.
I mean, but guess what? They message you on Xbox Live. You know what I mean? As long as, crap. Like I said, you know.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of them are just like, hey, man, I hear what you're saying. Even if they don't agree with me, they're like, you could be right. You could be.
I'm with you, bro. Trust me. I had the same concerns as you. Trust me. I was tweeting Phil, did the videos, but wasn't when I spoke to him. You know, I stepped back. You know what I mean? And then, okay, I get it. I still going to be able to get my games. None of that's going to change. And as long as I can still play my games and if they offer more features, something I'm never going to take advantage of. I don't care for mouse and keyboard. And, and it doesn't change for me. I don't have a problem with my console having more options. I don't. Will I use them all? No. Do I use them all now? No. As long as I can get my games and boot my games and play my games, I'm fine with that. And if I get more games and stuff, cool. You know what I mean? Kudos. If Remedy can sell, they can sell an extra 500,000 copies more into the Windows 10 store. That's a plus for all of us. You know what I mean? It's cool.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Let's hope so, man. I hope that they, they do well. Because so far, they're not lighting up the pre-orders on Amazon or GameStop.
I don't know.
Until it says 2 million and you're singing a different tune.
Hey, man, I hope so, man. I think Remedy does class work.
Now you went from the guy that was overly optimistic to now pessimistic.
No, I hope it does well.
I don't get it. Just because of a change. Don't you look at something subjectively?
I am.
The game is gonna sell, bro. It's gonna sell. It's gonna sell more than it's even on Windows 10 storefront.
Yeah, I mean, hell. I mean, we all thought the same thing about Sunset Overdrive.
You're comparing that game to this. It's not
the install base is much different now too, crap.
Come on.
Oh, I agree. There's
it went from overly optimistic guy to now everything sucks and
no. I don't think
it's gonna sell 100K.
You think it's gonna what?
Now you're gonna think it's gonna sell 100K. Come on.
No, I think it does. I think it does 250 the first week. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's gonna do well.
What, new IP? My God.
It's going to do better than Sunset Overdrive.
I think it'll do 250, and then I think by the end of the year you might be looking at 1.5 million. Easy.
No, it's going to do more than that.
Oh, more than that.
It's going to do more than that.
Listen, the small scale of people that we just talk to on a day-to-day basis, I don't know one personal person one personal friend of mine that doesn't have Quantum Break pre-ordered. And you might go, so what? What are we talking about? 20, 30 people in your personal life, in your 5-mile radius. But the point of the matter is each of those people are from different walks of life.
Right. Plus, if you always talk about digital sales.
Yeah, it's big. This is a big game. There's a reason that fucking Sam Lake was sitting next to a fucking bottle of champagne the size of my left calf.
Yeah, why
wouldn't you pre-order it too? You're always talking about how you don't know digitals. This game, if you pre-order digitally, you get 2 free backward compatibility games.
You still get those no matter if you get the physical as well, though.
But you also get a Windows 10 PC version. So you can't say you've always said that yourself. You can't go buy all this stuff because of digital.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying, why wouldn't the game was in the top 10 like the first day that they announced this stuff, and now it's like
that's the way it usually goes. But usually a week before, you'll see what type of where it's going to be. Like Street Fighter 5 was like hanging around a week, then it jumped to the top 20.
Then it shot up. Yeah, we talked about it on the show. It was like in rank 60 or so, then it shot up when it was closer to the game came out.
That's
it's closer to.
Well, you're not dealing with Halo 5 here, dude.
Where's
I mean, we're not going to hear anything on it anyway. They're not going to divulge information. I'm just saying I would have expected
How
it.
do you know? If it sells 2 million, they will. They divulge information about all the games, Forza and Gears selling over 1 million. So they will. If it does good numbers, they will brag about it.
Well, I felt like they had to damage control that a little bit because people were saying that Tomb Raider did nothing. You know what I mean? So I feel like they had to come out and say,
they're all wrong. And that's the same thing now with everybody. That's all these people that are freaking out on the internet. They're all wrong because they.
No, I'm just saying as far as I would have expected it. 4 weeks to go. To be in the top 100 or something.
How about this crap? If they went only console only and there was no PC, you wouldn't be singing the same tune. And that's the bottom line.
I would still be singing.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, dude. That's where I find the whole thing with you a little off. Because if they were just saying, this is your console exclusive DirectX 12 only on Xbox One, you would not be talking about that.
Well, that's what I mean.
You would not be shit canning the pre-order.
I'm not. I want it to be. I want it to do well. I'd be like, hey, dude, look at my videos. I've done one saying, hey, Xbox guys, you guys got to fucking buy these exclusives if you keep wanting them. I've done that video. It's on my list.
Right, but you're being way too early.
No, I want the game to do well.
I will say this. Again, you know what's important? I guess we can close it with this. You know what rules? Again, you take somebody like my uncle, right? We have our finger on the pulse of all this shit here, but the average motherfucker don't care where Quantum Break goes. I have an Xbox One. The game looks great. They're gonna have it come. I'm gonna go in the store and I'm gonna buy it. They do not care about what's in the Windows 10 store. You know what I mean? It doesn't change anything. Like I told you guys before, 90% of the OG Xbox exclusive were all on PC, Windows 95, whatever the fuck it was, Windows XP. No one, I didn't give a shit. Halo 2 was on Windows. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It was no big deal. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't change the way I play on my Xbox. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, shit. I mean, Halo was on PC. Day and day, you know what I mean? With multiplayer. I didn't give a fuck. I still, you know what I mean? Halo was still cool for the OG Xbox. You know what I mean? And that's not going to change, man. I guess it's just, it's still exclusive to me. It's their own IP, and they're putting it in their own store for their own OS. You know what I mean? Now, if it goes to the Steam, it's a little different. Then we can maybe have that conversation. You know what I mean? Because when you buy the game, Microsoft gets a cut, and that's split with anybody. You know what I mean? But is there anything anybody want to add? We can get out of here. We've been here for about 2 hours.
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you for everyone who listened to this.
Shout out to we almost had 500 people in here with us live today.
Thank you for listening to this shitfest of fighting.
Yes.
Hopefully we have some news. It's been very quiet with the news. Hopefully next week.
Hey, but listen, man. Like I said, we all bros. I mean, it's not nobody's beefing. We're gonna be back next week doing what we do best, man. Sometimes we all can agree to disagree.
There's 3 things for sure in life. Tobey Maguire was the best Spider-Man. The prequel trilogy of Star Wars far superior than the original trilogy, and Xbox is the best box. Let's
we ended it right there. You heard it from Recap Gamer. Xbox is the best box.
We did it. We were bad. Wow.
We did it without.
We out here. Thank you guys for
the check cleared. The check cleared, guys.
Listen, you said the check cleared. If you just joined in, some of you guys just joined. Go back to the beginning. It was a very entertaining show.
It was a good show. Yeah.
In the beginning, you're gonna trust me. You'll be thoroughly